Today on CHGO Bulls, a little bit of an update on the Jonathan Kuminga situation from Shams Charania earlier today. We'll touch on that. Also, NBC Peacock announcing some more on-air talent for their NBA team launching this upcoming NBA season. And Tim Bontemps ranked the 14 NBA teams that missed the playoffs as far as how their rebuilds are going. Trigger warning, AK. We'll talk about it next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago, where it is currently lightning and thunder and pouring buckets. Let's get that temp down. I like it.
Me too.
I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Day. Bow.
Bow.
BAWL Sports.
Bow.
Will the Go Gottlieb. Will_Gottlieb. Perfectly coiffed as always. And the Queen of the Controls, Katie Duffy. What up, Katie?
Hi.
Woo! Pew. Happy Thursday, everybody. Mm-hmm. Still no Josh Giddey deal. Mm-hmm. What's up, Grandmama's Flight School in the chat? I see you. Yeah, I saw the Jake Fisher Bleacher Report thing earlier today. Not concerned. We'll get there when we get there. So we will talk about a very fascinating rankings that Tim Bontemps did for NBA ESPN yesterday, ranking where the Bulls fall amid the 14 non-playoff teams from this past season and how their rebuilds are going. But first, a couple of other pieces of news. Let's start with this. Shams Charania did a quick hit on NBA Today earlier this very afternoon with an update on the Jonathan Kuminga restricted free agent situation in Golden State, much like the Giddey situation going on with the Bulls. Among a few notes, what he had to say was the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings are two teams that have made concrete offers with the Warriors over the last week or so. He did also mention he spoke to Kuminga directly earlier today at some workout. Kuminga told Shams there's no rush, absolutely no rush, on a new deal with the Warriors right now. He's not accepting the Warriors' current offers and is willing to continue exploring options, whether that be with the Warriors or sign and trade options that are open to him in the marketplace. And he noted those two teams specifically, the Suns and Kings, not just teams that are linked, not just teams that might be interested, teams that have made offers to the Warriors and have done so very recently. Note the complete omission of the phrase Chicago Bulls anywhere in that update from Shams. Thoughts, Dave?
Okay. Like, all right.
Like, fine.
That's business. Business is business. Yeah, let's go home, Katie. Wrap it up.
Katie is so ready to move on from the Kuminga sign and trade talk.
I see.
Katie's so done.
I see. I'll make this quick for it then, without a doubt. The Kongs have been linked for a while, to Jonathan Kuminga. So not surprised to hear that they have, tried to make a deal to get him. That's fine. The Bulls were linked because of Vooch. And when that kind of went away, then we've been trying to piece together other ideas that we could find to try to get a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. But the Warriors have said, we don't want Vooch. So, verbal abuse. You don't know where to go from there. So everything has been, more speculative and just trying to figure out exactly how the Bulls want to do. Phoenix is the new name for me. I find that interesting. When I heard that fit, I was like, yeah, Phoenix needs whatever. So I have no problem with them, trying to get a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. So this doesn't surprise me, doesn't shock me that the Bulls aren't in this talk right now. Their focus right now is on Josh Giddey, in my opinion. Like, that's the focus. They're trying to get that deal signed to the number that they want. So that should be the focus, in my opinion. That should be your number one priority. And Kuminga, for me, is kind of like, ice cream. And right now we're eating vegetables, bro. You got to finish what's on your plate first before you eat your dessert. If you can get a guy like Kuminga, okay, fine. You feel he fits in with you, okay, cool. But you're not going to make that a priority over what you're doing for Josh Giddey. And I wonder, this is just me with the fingers here, I wonder if they do decide, exactly, if they do decide to go and pursue Jonathan Kuminga, does that mean something about the Josh Giddey deal and how it's going? Is that affecting that in that way? If we start to hear the Bulls' name pop up more prevalently, like, yo, they made an offer to the Golden State Warriors, because that's what my mind would go if you don't have this deal yet closed with Josh Giddey.
I mean, my mind went straight to Giddey too. Like, if they don't get him, could they be a potential suitor for Giddey? Like, they are a team that needs a point guard. They're a team in flux trying to get younger. They've got like a zillion shooting guards and no one to really set them up. I think they're going to try to run offense through Devin Booker, and that's probably going to work because he's really good. But can they find someone who can help set the table, get them in transition, get them into easier offense? I mean, they just were so disorganized and like stagnant last year and the last couple of years. Obviously, now moving on from KD and Bradley Beal, things open up a little bit, and maybe they want to jump on the bandwagon that everybody else is jumping on, which is the pace and the thrust and the tempo that some of these teams are playing with. So if they don't get Kuminga, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, but if they don't, maybe they could be a team that now turns their attention towards Giddey, because I'm looking at their cap sheet now, and they are just $2 million over the luxury tax right now. So this was a second apron team. This was a team that was completely handcuffed by these new salary cap rules, and now they've got a little bit of flexibility. I imagine since they're so close to the tax, they'll try to get out from under it and get below that. But if they are still under the first apron, then they can consolidate contracts. They can move Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal and try to get off some of these guys to get below that tax line. So I could see them being interested in either of those guys. I think like the youth, the size, the skill set makes sense with the players that they have as their core, which is Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and the two centers, Mark Williams and Kamen Malawach. And I think both of those guys could work. Seems like Kuminga's obviously the priority here, and we'll see what happens there. But for the Warriors, like, I think the other piece of this is that we haven't really talked about is that they can decide whether they want to play ball. Like, this is a situation where they can say, well, I don't think we really want to send him to another team in the Pacific Division. Let's not do this. And then they're out of luck. And so they can really they can put their pressure onto Kuminga and onto these other teams to say, like, I'm not taking Grayson Allen's $16 million over 3 years every single year, like, for Kuminga. That doesn't help me. That hurts me. I'm not doing that. And so maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't, but I think that could lead the Suns to turning towards some of these other restricted guys, whether it's Giddey or Grimes or Cam Thomas.
So holding on to Kuminga is still basically the power play for the Golden State Warriors.
Basically, the reason that restricted free agents are having such a hard time right now is that there's no teams with cap space, right? Like, there's no money out there. And so I think it makes the most sense for the Warriors to get Kuminga back on the most tradable contract possible. If there's a sign and trade that they can work out, fine. But like, with the base year compensation rules, with the fact that teams are pretty capped out, and like the Warriors are going to be difficult to send money back to because they're so expensive, it makes the most sense for the Warriors to just bring Kuminga back, try to make the best of a bad situation for 6 months and then trade him at the deadline. Because then they can get matching salary. Then they can put a couple of contracts together and go get another star to fit with Butler and Steph and Draymond. And I think that just makes the most sense for them. So if there's not a real reason for them to play ball on a sign and trade, and they don't have to worry about these other teams coming in with big offers, they're in the same position the Bulls are, if not better, where they can just say, take the best offer we'll give you, or you're out of luck.
Bobby speaks in the chat mentioning they want Io. We talked about that on a mini pod that we dropped earlier this morning. It was from Brett Siegel report for Clutch Points a few days back, saying that the Warriors are one of many teams who still right now have significant interest in Io DeSumo entering the last year of his 3-year contract with the Bulls. And we, made a couple of fake trades that we talked through yesterday in that mini pod. Go check it out after you watch today's show if you haven't caught it yet. And maybe there's something facilitating, their desire to bring in Io and a Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade. And we found a way to make the money work and the pieces work. And I think Moses Moody was in there too.
He was.
The Bulls also throwing the Warriors that Portland pick, and they take on Patrick Williams' contract. Go check it out. We broke it down entirely in that mini pod. But to me, it's still like, I don't see a way where the Bulls and Warriors can collectively figure out their Kuminga and Giddey problem simultaneously.
Yeah.
Like, I think they need to deal with their Kuminga thing, and the Bulls need to deal with their Giddey thing. And I don't see them overlapping.
It's a very good point to put, because there are two important things, right? And the Bulls is probably more important than Golden State's, because the Bulls depends on just the future of their team, period. You know, that's it. Like, because they want Josh Giddey to be the focal point. They want him to be the piece of the squad. So they have to get that together if that's their thinking. They have to get that together, whether they sign him long term or whether they don't qualify an offer or however they want to do it. You know, but they have to figure that out more so than Golden State has to do with a guy who has been disgruntled, you know, with that team, who they aren't super high on, but are high on, but are like, well, we kind of want him, but we don't want to give him up for too much. I mean, if he leaves, it's fine. I mean, we'll sign him, we'll qualify. Like, they can make those decisions, but the Bulls domino is much, much, much bigger to what the team is going to be at the start of the season, more so than Golden State's. So, yeah, once I wonder if his domino falls first, will that affect Kuminga's? Because I don't know if it's the same the other way, as you're saying. Like,
right. If
Kuminga's goes, then Giddey, like, oh, man, Kuminga's done? Oh, man, we got to get Giddey signed up here. I don't think it's going to be that same kind of way.
And I think the other thing is, with, like I mentioned, the Warriors bringing back Kuminga and trying to trade him at the deadline, like, I think that's where the Vooch interest could come back up. Like, if they're halfway through the season and the Warriors are, like, trying to put together a run and they're like missing Kevon Looney or something. Now you've got $26 million or $25 million or $29 million, whatever Kuminga signs for, that you can send out to the Bulls, and you can take back that Vooch contract of 21.5 and maybe a little bit more. Like, you can maybe get Ayo and Vooch for Kuminga, and that like helps them in a couple of different ways, more so than trying to like find any sign and trade just to get rid of him now. Like, I think both sides are going to have to be professional. Like, Kuminga's been frustrated there. He has not felt like he's been given the runway that he needs to grow. But like, if he just waits 6 months, then I think they'll be able to put him in a situation that he's more excited about, and they'll be able to get themselves a better asset. And I think like this is a good lesson to take away for the Bulls in terms of how they are monitoring and dealing with Josh Giddey's restricted free agency, where they really want to keep Giddey, and Giddey wants to come back, as opposed to the Warriors, who don't really want to keep Kuminga, and Kuminga doesn't want to come back. So that's why I feel like there's maybe you could like assume that there's like a little bit more bad blood, and maybe that's even like aggressive, but like
Taylor Swift, because
both of those parties are ready for a separation. Like there's a difference there between the Bulls, where both sides want to come back together, and that's why like the lowballing stuff, disgruntling him, to me just doesn't really feel like as much of a real issue, because at the end of the day, Giddey and the Bulls want to be together.
Boom.
Everyone here is extremely gruntled. Shout out Michael Scott. Yeah, like I'm not really concerned about that. It was interesting to hear this update from Shams today and not have the Bulls mentioned, but you know, it seems like it didn't make a ton of sense to me when you think about these other young, you know, wing and front court pieces that the Bulls are now going to be trying to develop. Could Kuminga come in and give you more production right away than some of those other young names that are on the Bulls project to-do list? Yeah. I mean, almost assuredly. But, and it's also interesting, the two teams that Shams named, the Kings and the Suns, desperate teams. Trying to make some sort of move to get their team, you know, back, you know, shout out Farley, back on the right track. And also two teams that we are about to talk about in our bigger conversation about Tim Bontemps rebuilding teams rankings. Two teams that, just like our chat yesterday, rank below the Bulls in what they are trying to accomplish. So there's that. And now here's this. We're going to knock out a couple of ads. When we come back on the other side, we'll touch on the new announcement regarding NBA on NBC, their broadcast team. Then we'll dive into the rebuild chat. Hit the like while we share some ads. Today's show brought to you by Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to help elevate your summer. Your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu. Who needs restaurants? With over 100 different strains to choose from. Actually, if you shop at Sunnyside, you might want yourself a restaurant. Not
on,
too late
man.
down the road.
Get out my brain. Come
They
on.
also offer easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Even if you're a pro and think, I know everything, check out their Wellness Advisor Staff Picks collection. They probably have something that you haven't tried before. Visit Sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including getting 50% off your first 3 online purchases when you use promo code HICHGO at checkout. And returning customers use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Lab Brands item. Exclusions apply to Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and older and Illinois MedCard holders.
You know, making money moves should just be like the bud tenders at Sunnyside. Should be very simple, should be very, very smooth, just like the fine folks at Cash App. It's a beautiful thing. There are no extra hoops to jump through. There is no extra stress. There are no woozies. And for the love of the New Balance Quaff of the GOAT, there are no wazies at all, ladies and gentlemen. And for a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, it's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign right up. Use this exclusive referral code CHGO Bulls in your profile. Send $5 to a friend, and within 14 days, you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. A kerplunk. Terms apply.
Terms apply.
Thank you. That's money, ladies and gentlemen. That is Cash App.
I like a kerplunk.
Thank you.
A good old kerplunk.
Can't go wrong with a kerplunk.
Tossing some bigger stones in a pond somewhere.
That's it.
It's one of the most satisfying sounds in the world.
Gosh,
I don't know
one
why.
Of the best, man.
Like,
we
truly.
just out there, especially when the water just, you see it flowing and it's beautiful and it's reflective, and that kapoosh.
Can we stop today's show and go throw some rocks in the lake?
Get our kerplunk on.
You might
You know
just
what
need to
the
go outside
second-
and walk in the alley. Probably flooded down there.
You know what the second best sound in the world is?
What's that? A Taylor Swift song?
No, the sound that the like button makes when you hit it.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
What
think-
sound is that? Click it
Also,
and find out.
speaking of
It's-
other great
yeah.
sounds effects of various Mario Kart characters. Vote in the poll. If you're going to vote in the poll, might as well also hit the like button.
That was an amazing impression. Well done.
All right. Next order of business. This was an announcement from the NBA on NBC and Peacock official Twitter account. I'm sorry, I can't get there with the whole and Peacock thing. Can we just call NBA on NBC?
You can.
Those of us who remember it from back in the day are not adding and Peacock onto the name of this. It's just NBA on NBC. All right. Nobody cares about Peacock. Peacocks don't even care about Peacock.
Shake harder, boy.
Any hoodles.
Back in my day.
6 more talented names have joined the NBA on NBC slate. Austin Rivers, shout out Papa Doc. Derek Fisher,
Papa
screw the
Doc.
Lakers. Brian Scalabrine,
Hey.
the White Mamba. Robbie Hummel and Brad Doherty.
Oh, wow.
Joined previously announced NBA vets Jamal Crawford, Reggie Miller, and Grant Hill. Michael Grady also joins Tarico, Noah Eagle, and Terry Gannon as NBC Sports play-by-play voices for the NBA on NBC. So familiar names there. Also, first and foremost, shout out Brad Doherty.
That's what I was thinking.
Some of y'all
Yeah.
younger Bulls fans might not remember that name or recognize that name. Absolute stud,
Yes.
big man of the late 80s, early 90s.
Look, one day when Will Perdue was here, shout out for that flex. Hey, Julia. When he was here, I asked him, hey, man, what is your top 5 centers? And number 3 was Brad Doherty.
I mean,
And we went on a 15-minute conversation about Brad Doherty, and he was like, dude, that dude was incredible.
top
played on some of those great Cavs
Hakeem.
teams the Bulls faced in the playoffs
Yes.
in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yes. Oh, man. No, it was incredible. And it was great to hear him mention that name because you're right. And it's funny because now he's more synonymous with NASCAR than he is, you know, kind of with the NBA now.
Yeah.
But it's great to hear him back talking NBA as well. When I thought that, I immediately was like, I wonder what Michael Jordan has to do with this
Yeah,
because
right?
Mike's in NASCAR too.
Yeah.
I wonder what Mike got to do with
Like
this.
a recurring contributor, whatever they called it, special contributor.
You know, that's it.
They got on board?
You know, just free
I love
will.
it. But yeah, I mean,
fascinated
dude,
to see how that one goes.
one of the
Oh, I
one of the
can't wait.
craziest like career cut short by injury things.
Yeah.
Like Doherty was legit. Like I think he was a 5-time All-Star. He made All NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was right there in that same conversation with David Robinson, Olajuwon, and Ewing back in the day. Like, incredible talent.
It's true. He was special, man. He just ran up against that dude.
And
That's all.
exactly.
Ran up
And
against that guy.
I mean, he is no Brian Scalabrine.
Who is, man? Who
I
is?
mean, come on.
Come on.
I got an autographed Scal hanging on my wall in my office at home.
He's not playing.
White Mamba, baby.
He's not playing
Do you
around.
remember when the Bulls were good? The Scalabrini chants that would rain down from the rafters of the Madhouse when the
Yes.
Bulls were up by 20 in the fourth?
And that's why it was fun.
Oh, God, it was so
'Cause
good.
you
Take
equate
us
him.
back.
You equate him with winning. You equate him with winning here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brad.
But now
Doherty.
he's just been an analyst for the Celtics for forever. Like,
and a
boo.
little and a little surly as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, shout out to him for that, man. Like, he would really get on you. I saw him go out on the park one-on-one, just, taking out regular people. Like, he was like, look, and
Yeah.
I wasn't considered good in the NBA,
Yeah.
but I'll bust your back. And he's right. No, man, don't run up on Scal, dog. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Goat, any likes or dislikes on this list of broadcasting talent for the return of
Can
NBA
I see the
on
list
NBC?
again?
We got
so much, Katie.
Austin Rivers, Derek Fisher, Scal, Robbie Hummel, Brad Doherty, Michael Grady joining the play-by-play crew.
Yeah, Robbie does a great job when
He
he,
does.
covers the Bulls. He's kind of all over the place, right? Like
Yeah.
he covers a bunch of different stuff. So it's
True
good to
indeed.
see him find a home that's hopefully long term. Austin Rivers has been doing a podcast with The Ringer, I believe.
He has.
So he's been getting good. He
A clip
went
of it
on
just found its way into my Instagram feed the other day.
Yeah, well, I wonder if it's the same one I'm just
That's
about to
a hot
mention,
lead.
which is like, I hate it when people who've never played basketball talk about basketball.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the L-list of L takes.
Oh, yeah, somebody quote tweeted
but I do
that
think
and, like,
he's gonna
tagged
be,
me in it, referencing somebody.
Javon Freeman
Javon
Liberty.
Freeman Liberty. Or maybe that was totally
Oh
different.
yeah,
And I
Javon
was-
No, that-
Freeman
it was-
Liberty
yeah,
actually
Javon
tweeted something
tweeted
similar.
it.
Right, yeah. He tweeted something similar, yeah.
But jokes aside, like he
Jokes aside.
has a good knack for it. I think he's going to be really good at that.
He does
He
seem to
does
be,
have a good
like,
knack
strong and opinionated on the mic.
Yeah,
Which
and
is what you're looking for.
I think exactly that's what you're looking for. So, but yeah, like you have Noah Eagle, Tarico. Those guys are just amazing what they do. I think they're going to have a good product put together.
Does anybody else think Derek Fisher's going to be boring as hell? I just get a
I
vibe
guess-
that Derek Fisher's going to be boring as hell.
Has he done any broadcasting before?
I'm trying to remember if he has
I
done it
wanna
at
say
any point in
yes.
between, like, his coaching career after his playing career.
I feel like he
forgot
has,
he was a coach.
but not like on a national. I
Not-
feel like a local, like
Right.
Lakers game or something like that.
I can't recall like
Yes.
a full season where Fisher
Yeah.
was on a broadcast like 2 nights a week. You
No,
know?
agree with that, man. Like
He's been all over the place. Didn't he coach in the W?
he did, he absolutely did.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
So he, yeah, it'll be interesting to hear from him, in getting his takes. I mean, bringing in guys, with rings, you know what I'm saying, to have those, moments where you're the analyst is important. And I think it's also about the pairing. Yes, there's Bobby Speaks saying Fisher was on NBA TV.
Okay, there you go.
So yeah, so he's
Okay.
got some, they're not just bringing in new guys. You got to have some experience.
I mean, it's fine if
behind
they
that.
do. Like, I think a lot of times these can be opportunities for people that are really good at it, and just like the way that there's not always a lot of turnover with ESPN or with, whoever else.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that opportunity. So I'm not opposed to new people getting an opportunity like that, but I was just curious because I couldn't remember him on any sort of broadcast.
I am
before.
also curious if with Scal, who is, even though it was a very brief glimpse moment in time for Bulls fans who loved him, is like going to be doing this coinciding with his normal color commentary for NBC Sports Boston, which I think is still one of the very few remaining NBC Sports regional subsidiaries.
Shout out.
And doing that because under the same, umbrella parent company of NBC Sports, like, are they only going to have him do the Celtics games that are on the national broadcast for NBA on NBC? Are they going to have him do other games?
I bet it'll be similar to like what Mike Breen does, because he does play by
Breen does the Knicks and national games.
and national games. So
But
like
Breen
they just
is
have
like
people sit in for him.
the GOAT of play-by-play right now for NBA, whereas Scal just like loves the Celtics and loves talking about the Celtics. It's like, would you put Bill Simmons, which they did for a while,
They
right?
did for a while.
As like an analyst for things
They
that aren't
did.
Celtics related. And he's like, well, this reminds me of Kevin McHale and what he told me in 1986. Like, hey, buddy, no one cares.
So
For
there's
this
going to be
particular broadcast, no one cares.
there's going to be now the NBC broadcast, the ESPN broadcast, and then Amazon Prime. Is that right?
That's correct.
So that's where like Kevin Harlan will be, because I was thinking like, man,
Yeah.
that would be a bummer to not hear him.
Yeah, I
calling
was
games
just
anymore.
waiting to see where he would land, because That's very
he's
important to
just
me, man.
amazing
Right behind
to
Mike
listen to.
Breen
Yeah.
for me is Kevin Harlan. Like, I've got to hear him do basketball or any sport. Football, he's phenomenal in too. So yeah, he works. Katie?
Yeah, Will mentioned it, but just like I want to give another shout out. Like Robbie Hummel is so good at his job. I worked with Robbie for a while. That's a flex. I'll say.
Flex.
Amazing dude. Like is just so hardworking, and he did a lot for college this past March Madness, and I think that's how a lot of people got to know him. At least on my Twitter timeline, that's kind of where he blew up. And yeah, he just did an amazing job and covered the Olympics as well. Like, is just so good, and I'm really glad that people on the national stage are going to get to hear him. And yeah, like I said, really good dude. He's the first person to ever swear on a show that I produced, which is great. And yeah, I'm
How
excited.
many
The last.
shows in was that? How long did it
Not
take
the
for you to get your
last.
first
not the
curse
last.
on a show you were
It
producing?
was like 6 months.
Okay, whereas when you came on board with us, it was like 6 seconds.
Well, but you guys, you guys are allowed to do it here.
Well, we were.
At that job, they were not allowed to.
Yeah.
So it was different. But yeah, I'm
No.
excited for everybody
We
to
had
hear him.
we had to sweep certain language up once we joined some various streaming partners.
Yeah, that's
love
very
y'all.
true. Yeah. Don't ever leave us. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for doing what you do for us here at CHGO.
Of course, this is probably good to try and like. I don't know. I still just enjoy being a potty mouth.
It's
love,
amazing.
I love cursing like a drunken
absolute
sailor.
fun.
Because honestly, that's how I've always talked as a sports
Yeah,
fan.
me too.
Which is like, I think a lot of sports fans feel
Yeah,
that way.
it's the language of love.
Yeah. you remember back in the day when we were on Locked On and somebody left us a review in wherever, Spotify or whatever. It was like, well, these
Okay.
guys are really entertaining and they know their bull stuff, but like, do they have to curse so often? And you and I were like, hey, man,
Yeah.
there are a lot of Bulls podcasts out there. You can find a different one if you want.
It's true. We would drop an expletive or 4 on the show. It happened. You got to do your thing in 30 minutes, baby.
Yeah.
You got to do your thing.
It's also, we're not your
So you're
parents.
saying
we're not parenting your children
You were
for
just
you.
trading off curse words back and forth. Just one, two,
One
three, four,
upping
5,
each
6,
other.
7,
Yeah,
8.
kind of
Oh my
one upping
God.
each other. You
There
know what
were
I'm
no
saying?
words in between the
It's
curses.
August
No,
4th,
just-
and you guys are just
right.
We should, on one of our shows when we're not streaming on all of our various fast channels, we should do that and just see how long we could go.
The curse show.
Just a duel of cursing back and forth at each other.
I'll be
We
gone all
should've-
week. You guys can.
We should have
Get
done that
after it.
in Vegas. That would have been so funny.
the
in one of our
cursing
Vegas
duel.
shows.
The duel of the curse.
That's right.
I wonder what our demographics are. Do we have a lot of kids who watch the show?
No, I can look up the stats, but it's all like 30 plus. for
Shout out
the
to
most
y'all.
part.
I don't know. There's people that are definitely at least under 30, maybe
Well, majority.
early 20s.
Majority is what I'm saying.
Just depending, given some comments I read and some people who don't know what things are, and then also that I don't know what things are that they're talking about. There's some generational divide in our audience.
well, there's
Man,
there's
hero,
age
Hal
and there's
Mitchell.
mental age.
yeah.
Our guy.
Yeah, man.
Our
Probably,
guy.
he's probably
Mitchell.
Gen Z.
Shout out.
So-
Devin's like, I'm 26.
So many.
Like, come
So
on.
yeah,
Thomas is
26,
25.
There we go.
buddy.
Yeah, we got
you're,
25 and 26-year-olds. We can't be cursing on this program.
You're about a baker's dozen younger than me.
They've
pal.
never heard those words before.
Bulls all day. Hey, shout out to us 38-year-olds out there.
23 for pew.
Hey,
Pew. out to-
Andrew, face it, we old. We are all old. Extremely.
Gotta live this long, baby.
But
this old.
for those of us who are lucky, it means we also saw some pretty epic Bulls basketball back in the
Yeah,
day.
how the 23-year-old few, like what team did you grow up watching that
What are
made
you
you fall in
doing
love
here?
with?
Yeah, we don't know.
like, what are you doing
Exactly what it
here?
is.
I'm not.
Like,
No. I'm just curious. Like what?
doing?
So Few is Australian, and
Okay.
I don't want to make an assumption, but I assume that they became a Bulls
Maybe there's a
fan
Giddy
through
connection?
Josh
But
Giddey.
not
Okay, well, what about Thomas
necessarily,
Banks?
We're glad to
25.
have you.
Not glad to have you either way, but
Banks,
also
no comment.
Bulls
I thought you said a
Nation
player. I'm like,
has been huge in Australia well before the days of Josh Giddey getting traded here.
For sure.
yes, this is true.
Shout out Luke Longley.
Yeah.
Also shout out just like the Bulls and the Jordan, of the night, like global,
Of course, the
including
legend,
Australia.
Matthew Dellavedova.
Oh, good lord!
We cannot
But
forget.
no, our Bulls podcast was pulling huge numbers from Australia years ago.
Ooh, that's a
Shout out to
flex.
all of y'all.
Oh, that is a flex. What he just did right there.
That's
ladies
right,
and
baby.
gentlemen.
Appreciate
That's
you,
what we
Australia,
do.
Bulls
Oh,
Nation.
Yeah, people are saying they saw D Rose, and that's probably the answer. But like, if you're 23 and Derrick Rose was 15 years ago during his MVP season, like,
Yeah.
you're pretty young.
You were a
Like,
youngster.
Shout out to Bobby Speeds. Like, I'm 67.
Yes.
Retired in Matt's favorite spot, Florida.
Yeah.
He's in Florida.
But shout out to Florida. But like there were a couple of father son duos that we were chatting with out in Vegas at Thomas and
Yeah,
Mack.
true.
all in Bulls gear.
We apologize.
And those sons, I was like, y'all, I mean, like, if I were a parent, I would also force it on my child.
Yes.
But in recent years, I've been thinking that over. Like, should I
Yes.
force that on my child? I don't know. That's a cruel thing to do.
I'm forcing
right
it
now
on.
with the Bulls.
I'm forcing it.
You know what's not cruel?
Yeah.
The fine products and services of our sponsors. Hit the like button.
Well done.
While we share some ads.
No cursing.
Ray! Shout out to our pal Ray and his fine crew at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. New vehicles in store now. And this is your chance to score a great deal at the employee pricing plus sales event. Right now, you can lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $399 a month for 27 months. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. The expert team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. They prioritize affordability. You know you won't overpay for the vehicle you need. And with that raised price promise, you can shop confidently knowing there will be no add-ons, no hidden fees, ever. Mm-hmm. The price you see, the price you pay. It's that simple. Don't miss out on the employee pricing plus sales event for huge savings on the Ram 1500. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com.
You know, there are some rules in life. Don't touch Katie's when she's got one hand here and one hand on the mouse. Never touch the quaff. Don't touch his back. You can definitely give me a hug. Just don't touch me. And don't get biffed. Don't get biffed, ladies and gentlemen. Stay at home. Get that shopping home convenience you can only get from our people at Empire Today. They're flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals whose focus is on flooring every single day of the week. With Empire Today, you get that clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as mañana. That's the next day. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some of those things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, you can receive a $350 discount when using that promo code CHGO. That's $350 using promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. 588-2300. Back!
Empire.
Today.
Junior? Hit him with the Billy Madison?
Today,
Junior. Speaking of like that, it just popped in my brain for a second. Talking about like the
Mañana.
satisfaction of
That means tomorrow.
throwing rocks in lakes and hearing the sound.
Fair.
I think about towards the end after he gets hit by the car and Happy starts to crumble in the final round. And he throws a bunch of rocks in the lake, and then his caddy behind him throws another rock in the lake.
That's exactly what
And then
happened.
I was like, oh, shoot, Happy Gilmore 2 comes out tomorrow,
Oh, wow, it does.
July 25th.
It does.
Long awaited.
It does come out
God,
tomorrow.
I wish Carl Weathers was around.
Man, that's all I've been thinking, bro.
I just saw an interview,
all I've been thinking.
Sandler was doing recently somewhere promoting it, and he was like, yeah, we kind of had to like rewrite large portions of the script because
Yeah,
we
bro.
intended on doing it with Chubbs around.
Oh, man. So much stuff was going to go down with Chubbs, bro. Shout out Carl Weathers, man. Amazing actor.
I mean, talk about
Apollo
range.
Creed, baby.
Talk
Predator.
about range.
Action Jackson.
God, he's so
He
good.
did everything.
Although that was funny that was a piece of news not that long ago, like within the last month or so. The alligator who was the animal actor in
Yes.
Happy Gilmore finally died.
Yo, when they put up that
So,
picture
The whole
of the alligator,
ending
right?
scene of Chubbs, Abraham Lincoln, and the alligator is now factually accurate.
I was crying laughing, dog.
That's so good.
I was
I
like,
did not
that's
see
pretty
that
good. No, it's pretty good. It was pretty funny. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm not expecting it to be like Happy Gilmore. I'm just
They
gonna
never
watch
are.
it. They never are.
Hard act to follow.
Yeah.
Long awaited.
Yeah.
It's like when I saw Dumb and Dumber 2 that came out 20
Ooh.
years later. I was like, this is trash.
We don't talk about that.
Trash.
Ooh.
Let's just take that out of the canon.
Oh, take it out.
All right, guys, let's move on. This was Tim Bontemps of ESPN NBA with a column he called NBA Rebuild Rankings, How Close Are 14 Teams to a Title? It dropped yesterday morning, talking about the 14 teams that did not go to the NBA playoffs this past spring
Okay.
and where they are in their path back towards championship contention. A little bit of context he added as far as how he came up with these rankings before we dive into them. He said, our rebuild rankings are not based on where rosters stand right now. Having more present-day talent doesn't automatically mean you're farther along in a rebuild. The list focuses on the combination of current talent and future upside to create the kind of championship alchemy teams are hoping to discover. And then for each team, he listed how many players under 25 they currently have on their roster. Shout out to the Bulls. They did a big old flipsy-daisy in that department over the last year or so. Also listing tradable first-round picks and players on rookie-scale contracts. So there's some more criteria for you. Guys, let's start at the top of the list and then make our way down to the Bulls. Do we have any issue with him ranking Spurs, Mavs, and Hawks 1, 2, 3? Obviously, the Spurs are rocking the Wemby life. Also have Stephon Castle coming on board. They just got De'Aaron Fox in a trade at the middle, at the deadline this past season.
Dylan Harper.
As well.
Carter Bryant.
Dallas Mavericks, of course, won the Cooper Flag sweepstakes and are trying to bounce back after the fallout from the Luka Doncic trade. And the Hawks perhaps have gotten the most widespread credit for having a killer offseason, especially among Eastern Conference teams, with some of the moves that they've made trying to rebuild things around Trae Young. 1, 2, 3. Any issues with that?
3's a little surprising to me.
High for the Hawks?
Little high for the Hawks.
That's the first thing I
High
thought.
on the Hawks?
I think number one, if
fly.
you have Wembanyama, you are number one. Like,
Yeah.
that's you. They could have nothing else on their roster and they'd still be number one because they have Victor Wembanyama.
Fair.
Number 2, I don't feel quite as strongly about the Mavericks in a vacuum, but if we take a look at the list again, I probably would rank them up there just because of Cooper Flag. Derek Lively is another really nice young piece that they have moving forward, but they are also not like a team that I would consider rebuilding. They're like,
they're trying to win.
They're trying to win now. They've got Anthony Davis. They've got Kyrie Irving. Like to me, like I'm not even sure they belong. They're very much doing the 2 timelines thing.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think when you think about their actual rebuild, it's going to be, okay, what do you get for Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving if they decide to do that? And based on his track record, I'm not sure Nico Harrison's going to be willing to ever do that, whether it's trade those guys at all or trades them for other players that in 2 or 3 years are win now guys.
Okay.
And so they have obviously some really good young pieces for the future. I don't think I would call them a rebuilding team, but I think for the purposes of this article, it's about the teams that were in the lottery.
Yeah, first of all, I like how we're learning that these teams are now connected. And by those teams, I mean the Bulls, the Pelicans, the Phoenix Suns, and I'm forgetting the Kings.
The Kongs.
It seems like we've been talking about them in that same tier for the past 2 days.
They have been in the same category in a lot of different offseason rankings we've been discussing recently.
I'm noticing. I'm taking notice. This is not a good thing. But I'm taking notice of this.
In good company.
I definitely like the Hornets there.
Hornets, by the way, coming in at number 6.
Yes, correct. Jazz at number 7. I like them there as well. Those are the 2 teams that I was really impressed with what they did going forward. As you know, we talked off camera, Goat, how we feel about Con Knipple.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about Ace Belly already. And I think the Jazz are at number 7 partly because of Danny Ainge, just in general. They're like, no, he's going to make some more moves, and they're going to do some more things to rebuild and get that team to where they need to be. So,
by the way, they have 12 players under the age of 25 on their roster.
Oh, shout out
That's
to them.
all but 3 of their roster.
And they'll get rid of
And
those
one of
two.
them's 27, Lowry.
Yeah. Right. And he's on the trading block. You know what I mean? And they'll have,
Lowry, I'm sorry, you're too old. You got to go.
sorry, you're 20. What now? You can rent a car? Nah, you got to get out of here, sir. So I like that. The Raptors, shout out to them being on here at number 9. They're definitely a team that has been interesting to me since last year, just for how they were taking, and we talked about it. But yeah, man, like everybody they get fits with their team. Like it's so many different draft picks. I was just like, oh yeah, that fits. Yeah, he's a Raptor.
Colin
SNK could have went
Boyles,
to
you
them.
are a Raptors.
Yeah, dude, SNK could have went there. I'll be like, yeah, I get it. I see it. I see the fit right there. So yeah, the Raptors fit
And,
well.
Colin Murray Boyles definitely has some Raptor DNA in him.
I mean, man, you see, just ready to go. And the Blazers, like
Blazers
shout
at
out
10.
to them, man. Like they're a very sneaky team in that Western Conference, as a team that can cause a lot of problems for some people who aren't watching out for them and their growth. Because
Scoot,
they
Shaden
weren't
Sharp, Klingen.
Yes.
They got some really interesting young pieces.
You know that they feel good about themselves when they're trading Anthony Simons, who was their guy. That's that's the number 1 dude for them. That was the 20-plus point scorer. He couldn't stay healthy a lot out there, but that dude is legit when he's out there on the floor. So that shows you what they feel about their future and what they feel about their coach in Chauncey Billups as well. So, no, I like that. For me, I really enjoy the 6 through 10 more than I do the top 5.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Like, if you look at this list, it would shock me if any team finishes worse than, not after the lottery, but just in terms of the standings, if any team finishes worse than the Wizards, Hornets, Jazz, Nets. Those are the 4 worst teams in the league by far. Those are the only teams that, in my mind, are actually doing like a full-scale teardown and rebuild.
Right.
Everybody else is like somewhere else on the spectrum in terms of like has like Damian Lillard and Drew Holiday.
Right, I was
but
gonna
also
say,
Shaedon Sharp. And
all of a sudden, the Blazers
Scoot
with
Henderson.
Dame and Drew is like, is this a rebuild? Is it like, or as you said, go kind of like 2 timelines?
Same with, like, the Kings are not rebuilding. They don't have any young players.
Like
They have their youngest player is like Nick Clifford, who's 23. Like,
right. So, and again, these 14 teams where Bontemps is ranking rebuild, he's taking the 14 teams that missed the playoffs this past year.
Yeah.
So, like, teams that theoretically could be in rebuild mode, but I'm pretty sure AK sent him a cease and desist letter for putting the Bulls in this list at all, because the Bulls are not rebuilding. How dare you, Tim Bontemps? Finger wag.
Oh, man. Because, Goat is right. Like, would we be surprised if the Sixers made a playoff run? I don't think so. And we'll be surprised if the Hawks
If they've got a healthy Embiid and Paul George.
So. Exactly.
They got Maxey.
Yeah,
They got McKay. Like,
that's my point.
They're
That's
another
not that
like
rebuilding.
They're like
kind of
another
thing.
2 timelines team with like Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain.
Yeah,
and
that's
Quentin
not
Grimes.
the rebuilding. Like, I'm not surprised if they go to the playoff. I'm not surprised
So I wonder,
if
like-
them or the Hawks or the Mavericks make a ridiculous deep playoff run, or even if the Spurs go. And I get why the Spurs are there, but I'm not surprised if they go. But the Wizards, the Raptors, Hornets, the Jazz, the Nets, the Blazers. Yeah, I'm shocked. You want to throw the Bulls in there too? Sure. But you'll be surprised if any of those other teams just made like to the deep playoff runs or got to the second round or even threatened to get to the second round of the playoffs.
I wonder if like the full scale rebuild, and we can look at like previous seasons, but it just seems like it might be going out of vogue a little bit. And I think in large part that's due to the flattened lottery odds, teams realizing they don't need to be a bottom 5 team in order to have a chance to draft number 1. They know that they need to be a bottom 5 team if they want to guarantee a top 7, 8, 9 pick. But just the way that some of these teams are constructed, like the Hawks are sort of rebuilding, but like, and they've got some young players like Dyson Daniels, a youngish player, Jalen Johnson, Risa Shea, but they're not like
There's not a lot left of that team that Trey went to the conference finals with, and a little bit gimmicky path to the conference finals. But
they're also
3 years
not in
ago?
the same category as like the Jazz or the Wizards.
Right, yeah.
So it's interesting to kind of think about this in terms like the Bulls are kind of, maybe they think of themselves a little bit more further along than they actually are, but the Bulls are more in that category. And I almost wonder if like those are just separate lists.
Could be. Katie, seemed like you had a thought?
I have a huge problem with this list that I haven't heard you guys mention yet.
Problems. Which is?
What the hell did the 76ers do to earn number 4?
It's a great question.
The 76ers, to me, are not in the top 5.
Go off, Katie.
For them to be, I'm sorry, like,
Don't apologize.
what their average age is not anywhere near as young as the other teams on this list. They don't have the tradable assets that the other teams on this list have. Like, to me, this makes absolutely no sense. Like, I have other issues with this list, but number 1, if you put the 76ers at 4, to me, the rest of your list, I'm not even taking seriously, because that team is not a legitimate contender anywhere, in any universe, in any part of this league. Like, that's crazy to me.
It is an interesting placement. I thought that too. It is maybe worth pointing out that, yes, Embiid and Paul George, ramp up the average age of that roster considerably just between the two of them. The Sixers have 12 guys on their roster under the age of 25.
Damn.
25 or younger.
That's young.
They only have 2 guys on rookie scale contracts, but like I think maybe putting them in like rebuild mode at number 4 is even and like okay. The other thing that I think makes you have a point, Katie, that I'm not sure if you just mentioned, the contracts of Embiid and Paul George.
Okay.
Could be horrible albatrosses that they have to deal with, even if they've got a lot of young, up-and-coming talent behind Embiid and Paul George, if that veteran star duo never pans out in the sake of, like, actual deep playoff run kind of contention. Because, Maxey's a star, and they paid him to be around after Embiid and Paul George are gone.
Yes.
But, boy, the contracts of Embiid and Paul George is, like, it's hard to give them great credit for being in a great spot for what happens after them when there's still so much of their money staring them in the face.
I mean, looking right at them. Like, it's a great point. And again, just a team that's a player away from being a threat for me to make a run in the playoffs. And that player is Joel Embiid.
A healthy Joel Embiid.
That's it. Like, for me, I'm like, oh, Embiid's healthy? Oh, okay, yeah, we'll pencil them in as a playoff team.
Pencil them in for Eastern Conference semis exit.
You know, right
when Embiid is healthy, this is what happens.
Go your way in and right this way, sir. Thank you for coming. But yeah, I agree with Katie with what she just said. Like, for me, that's the first thing I saw was them being at number 4, and for me, it's the Hawks being up there. I know they rebuild and retooled and things like that, but this is a team that is not trying to be bad or wasn't, trying to be bad last year. They just were. And injuries and those things occurred and stuff like that happened. But they were in the play-in. Again, like, it's what they do. So now they're projected to be even higher, in the East. So that's what kind of throws me off. And I agree with you, Will, about the Mavericks too. Like, that throws me off as well. Like, I'm not with that at all. Like, even when they made the trade for Luka, they still were talked about as a team that was going to the finals when you were just looking at the team that they had. And then all they did was like, well, here's the best young prospect in a few years we can add to your team. Rebuild done. We're finished. Nah, bro. Like, that's just not how that stuff kind of works.
All right, well, so then now let's actually pivot and see what Bontemps had to say about the Bulls and where they landed at 11th. And I do see plenty of Bulls fans trashing Bontemps in our comments, which I do not mind. I actually love y'all. I'm not a huge Bontemps fan myself.
Oh, yeah, you're not. I just called flashbacks of Locked On Bulls real quick. Dude, I remember this.
He is not a fan. Honestly, this might be how some Bulls fans feel about me. But as a podcast listener, I cannot stand him. When he is on all the time with Windhorst and McMahon, who I do enjoy listening to, and they've always got great insights, and they've got inside scoops of what's going on in the NBA, anytime Bontemps opens his mouth, I'm like, oh my God, shut up. So again, could be how some Bulls fans feel about me. He's not my favorite guy.
He's been consistent in this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Yeah.
So what he said, and also, by the way, for the record, Bulls, 10 players, 25 or younger on their roster.
Yeah.
Definitely a step in the right direction compared to the play-in exits of older versions of this team. 5 tradable first-round picks. Careful, AK. You keep those. Players on rookie scale contracts, just 2 right now.
There you go.
Bontemps said the Bulls, perpetual play-in team. Everybody's getting that joke off lately. Again, landed there last season, losing to Miami. Chicago landed the 12th pick, drafted Noah Essengay. The expected improvement from Miami, Philly, and Toronto, all teams that finished behind Chicago last season, could allow the Bulls to land a game-changing talent in next year's draft, despite not doing so much to put themselves there. Chicago is also on pace to have max cap space next summer, even after an expected re-signing of Josh Giddey. And, of course, we know because of Trey Jones, because of Okoro, that has slightly changed in recent weeks. He went on to say, trying to answer the question, is it working with this Bulls quote-unquote rebuild, not rebuild? The Bulls missed the playoffs 8 of the last 10 years. They have little to show for it. The roster is devoid of true high-end players, though Kobe White has developed into a key contributor, also noting his expiring deal and the fact that he's not signing an extension off of that current deal. He notices Modis and Essengay as longer-term potential players. They desperately are in need of a high pick to hit big, something this regime did not do when selecting Patrick Williams at number 4 in 2020. Shout out to Big Dave's rant the other day.
Weird.
Estimated return to relevance. The Bulls, with little high-end talent and lower chances of getting a top pick than several other teams below them on this list because of having more overall depth, are one of several teams far from relevancy in the Eastern Conference. It'll take some significant changes in approach, luck, or both to change that.
That last sentence right there.
As much as I am not the biggest Bontemps fan in the world,
Kind of nailed it.
I say point to the lie.
Yeah. I don't see one.
Point to the lie. Some Bulls fans might disagree with certain what could be high-end talent compared to some of these other young teams, some of these other teams that missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I think I agree with him when you're talking about high-end talent or even potential for high-end talent with young guys on your roster.
Yeah, like falling, it was like in a lot of ways he was saying falling ass backwards into things for the Bulls to get that. But that last sentence kind of just, nailed it at home. Like maybe a change in your approach and luck, because this has truly been an unlucky team for things that have definitely happened. It kind of changed a little bit last year. I mean, we're seeing Josh Giddey hit half-court shots. We're seeing Kobe White be Eastern Conference Player of the Week twice, which ended up him being Eastern Conference Player of the Month. We hadn't seen that in quite a while, probably since DeMar DeRozan during his tenure here. But yeah, man, like it's a lot of help that the Bulls need, and they have made the right 2 moves in the last 2 drafts, getting a guy like Modest Buzelis and then getting Essengay, who is going to be a project, but can they develop that project into something? Because I'm glad he mentioned Patrick Williams, because the last time they tried to develop that, chicken parm. You know what I mean? So I'm curious as to how it goes this time with Essengay. He's definitely, we like what we see, from that young man. I saw a young man who learned from his mistakes out there and said, oh, I can't do this. Let me stop doing this and do this instead. So that's great. We already talked about Modest and just how proud we feel just to have him in a Bulls uniform. That is an amazing feeling that a dude who wants it that bad is representing your team. That is a great ambassador to have for your squad, man, along with a guy like Ayo Dosunmu and things like that. So, yeah, I think they did the right thing these past 2 years with that, but you need more. And I think that's what he's kind of hitting on. There's more that needs to happen for the Chicago Bulls to be legitimately where they think they already are, but needed, as far as reality is concerned, to actually be tangible, where you can see that's where they are and that's where they belong. But they are on the road. I don't know if the right or wrong road, but they're on the road, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think, ultimately it just comes down to this very fundamental belief that I think most people have, that you need a superstar player to compete at the highest level. And if you don't have one, you're maybe going to be good. Maybe you'll be really good some years, but it's hard to ever really be great when you don't have a great player on your roster.
Consistency.
And Modest could turn into that. Noah could turn into that. Those are kind of the 2 highest upside guys. Kobe's gotten really close to that, I would say.
Yeah.
Giddey even has some potential to get to that.
That's true.
So it's not like there's nothing on this roster, but I think the idea is that when you have depth of very good players, that can raise your floor to a point that it's hard to get those guys in the draft. But still, there's not enough talent there to be able to compete at the highest level. And so that's how you get stuck in the middle. And I think it can be sort of a hard thing to move away from if you're a front office. Why should we tear it down? We have guys that are young, that have potential, that are good, that are playing a fun brand of basketball. I can see why that would be a hard thing to do when you've invested in these guys. But at the end of the day, the teams that are really the most calculated are the ones that make those hard decisions. And oftentimes those are the ones that are able to get out of the middle by first going through the bottom. So I don't want to harp on the rebuilding stuff. We've talked about this too much over the years, but I can see why the Bulls would be ranked where they are on this list, given that they just don't have that super high-end talent on their roster. And as much as we like Modest, he's not the same prospect that the guys at the top of this draft.
Wemby or Cooper Flagg is?
Yeah, or even some, I don't know, if he really was that guy, and I think he's outperformed his draft spot, but he just would have been drafted in the top 5.
Yeah.
VJ Edgecombe is probably a better prospect than Modest right now. Weird as it is to compare those two because they're completely different stylistically.
Sure.
But yeah, Jalen Johnson is a better prospect than Modest is. He's already gotten his contract, but and I think they could be similar players. I think Modest can be really good. I'm not trying to take shots at him. We all know how I feel about Modest.
Absolutely.
But I just think if the Hawks only had Jalen Johnson and not Dyson Daniels and Risa Shea and Trae Young and Onyeka Okongwu, then they probably would be closer to where the Bulls are on this list and not number 3.
Yeah, but it's an excellent point, because the main thing is they got a guy. You know what I mean? And Trae Young is a guy. No matter how you feel about Trae Young, he's a guy.
And on top of that, they still recognize, okay, we've got some great young talent. We're building. We've got some guys we're excited about. They're young. We're going to grow together. But we also aren't going to turn down an opportunity to get a top 5 pick in next year's draft because we really like whoever it is at 11. They were willing to make a future-oriented move despite also making win-now moves like Kristaps Porzingis and be able to kind of go at it from both of those directions. And I think the Bulls have really only gone at the what can we do that helps us today. And I think that's a fine approach if it works, but it just hasn't really worked.
Yeah, hasn't been their thing. You're right.
Rob in the chat saying the Bulls could have one of the youngest rosters in the NBA, and there will be media narratives that they aren't rebuilding still. LOL. And so the Bulls
comes from them,
the
though.
Bulls do have 10 players under 25 on their current roster, and again 2 on rookie scale contracts.
But they also
just real quick, the stipulation isn't whether or not the Bulls are rebuilding. AK doesn't think so. He can call it retool if he wants to. But again, we're ranking which teams who are rebuilding or retooling or are in better position. It's not the media narrative of the Bulls aren't rebuilding despite having all these young guys on their roster. That doesn't matter. Is how good are they now, and how good is the potential for how good they can be in the next couple of years of these young guys on your roster. That's what matters. That's what I think most of the media will be talking about when you're saying this team ain't it right now. Could they be it or in the mix to be it soon because of what their young talent looks like? That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not, well, they're young, so why are people arguing the fact that whether or not they're rebuilding? You can have a young roster and still be headed nowhere.
Ooh, that's a fact.
In my opinion.
We've seen it often.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
I
teams
also
I can think
think
of.
I mean, AK said this last year at the trade deadline, or maybe it was end of the year. I can't remember which. Like, we've got X amount of players that are under 25 or 25 or younger. And it's like, yeah, those aren't like old players, but like Kobe's entering his 7th year in the NBA. He's a year out from his 3rd contract. Like, these are not like Noah Essengay is a young player with upside. Kobe White is a young player who is a veteran in this league who still has room to grow and I believe can get better. But he's not like a untapped potential kind of guy. And neither is Io, and neither is Isaac Okoro, and neither is Patrick Williams. Like, Giddey, even to a certain extent. Yes, he's only 22, but like he's played 4 years in the league. Like, oftentimes you kind of know what these players are. And again, I'm not saying there's not more room to grow, but I do think there's a big difference between these guys are real like upside swings like Modest and Noah compared to guys that have 4 years of information about them in the NBA with teams knowing how to scout them, having seen them in the playoffs. Like, these are not like new toys that have not been like taken out of the packaging yet.
Vroom, vroom.
Talk to them. That's exactly what I was going to say too. Go, man, way to be on my brain. That's true. Like, when they got all this tape on you, you know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? Like, we know what you can do. We're not shocked at it. We're not surprised at it. We game planned for it. Why? Because there is tons and tons of evidence that we can look at and make sure a veteran. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing that you're a veteran in this league. But continue to consider those guys as like, oh man, this is my young player movement and things like that. No. He's talking about the untapped potential of guys that you don't know yet. You still don't know yet about Modest Puzelis. We got an idea, but you don't really truly know. You don't know yet about anything about Essengay and what he can do. Hell, you don't even really know about Yuki yet and what he could do, man. There's still questions about this team, but those are your young guys on the squad, man. Do you even really – can you put Julian Phillips in that category? Can you put Dalen Terry in those categories? There's plenty of tape, you know what I'm saying, on these guys right here. Still young, for sure.
And it's not like they haven't had
plenty
opportunity.
of tape of them, for sure.
They haven't gotten a lot of playing time, but like they've been in practice. Like, if they were earning those minutes, they would have been playing. And I'll say this too, like, just because you're a little bit older doesn't like there's nothing wrong with that. But I think from a player progression standpoint, thinking about it in terms of when guys break out, like Jimmy Butler was a late breakout, right?
Sure.
He was a late bloomer. He played several years in college. I'm not remembering exactly how many.
3.
He averaged 20 in his 4th season. So that was like his big breakout. That was his most improved player of the award. And he won defensive. He was on the all defensive second team during his 3rd year. So he had like really shown signs of being the star player that he turned out to be by the end of his 4th year. Lowry was like one of the latest breakouts in NBA history. And that was during
two teams.
Switched 2 teams. That was during his 6th season, was his 25.5 point per game, most improved player, all-star season. Like, Kobe is entering his 7th season. Like, again, I really like Kobe. I think he's already shown enough where, like, I don't think his full season stats are representative of how good he was last year. But at the end of the day, like, making an all-star team for the first time in your 7th year is like pretty rare, I feel like.
Tis.
And so these guys are it just goes to show that these guys are not like super youthful. And like by the time we get to the trade deadline, you're not gonna be able to say they've got 10 players under 25 anymore because Kobe and Io are both gonna be 26.
Yeah. We're about out of time. Shout out to Fine Day in the chat who said, Modest is our slim chance at a star. We have to see it, but there is something there. For the most part, most young stars in this league are showing why they're stars. They win. Great point. Quickly, before we get out of here, Katie, poll, Mario Kart characters.
Yeah, the question today was, do you have a go-to Mario Kart character? Because I was playing Mario Kart last night. It was a very split vote, but the winner was yes with 37%.
Okay.
No came in second with 35%. Third place was I cycle between 2 to 3 characters.
Wow. Okay, so very spread answers.
I selected the correct answer. Hit the like.
Yeah, that was also
Goat selected hit the like, which is always the correct answer.
There are 64 votes on the poll and 38 likes on the stream.
Oh,
so
come on.
I'm going to be under a lot of people's beds tonight.
Unacceptable.
I think that might be my new thing where I just say I picked the correct answer and then say whatever I picked in the poll.
This should have been your thing a long time ago. Seth.
I said it yesterday and
Obviously.
today, so maybe it's my new thing.
I've seen
Hit
a
the
lot of votes for Toad in the chat.
the like.
Katie, you're a Toad person?
Toad is my guy, yeah.
Shout out Toad.
Mario all the way.
Shout out Mario.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Mario is me. I am him.
He is I.
Dave, you got a Mario character if you're playing card or Super Smash Bros. Or anything?
Not really. Well, one, I don't really play Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, me neither.
Mario, Princess.
Princess.
She's
Peach
always
or
dope.
Dave
Daisy.
is a princess.
Is it Peach or Daisy?
Is it Peach or
I'm
Daisy?
guessing OG
Yeah.
Peach.
Yeah, you. I don't know.
Okay.
Who's Daisy?
Because I don't
I
know.
always just saw the
I
print,
don't
and I
know.
always thought she was fat because I remember her on Super Mario 2 or 3, and she was the best one.
Oh,
on there,
yeah.
and I'm playing with her. So when it came to Mario Kart, that was always in my head. I was like, oh no, I'm rolling with her, bro. She the one.
Goat.
Mario Kart, I don't really think I have a character. I don't think I played that game very
No,
much, to be
not
honest.
a kart person.
No.
Not a card. Why Katie looking at you like this? Like,
Goat's-
why-
I just never-
that
Goat's-
was
I'm just
real.
surprised that you don't have like a character.
Goat's
You know
favorite
what?
character is a cartoon thumb up emoji.
That's right.
I'm gonna bring my really old Wii into the office one day, and we'll have a day.
Yes.
Sound
We'll
like
have
a
a
plan.
day.
Oh, I will smoke some people in cart. All right, we're out of here for today. Goat, taking off for a minute. We shall miss you, sir. We will hold down the fort while he is taking some much-deserved time off.
Yes. Well deserved.
Follow him, Will_Gottlieb, read his stuff, allcshow.com. Big
I'll
Dave,
see you guys when Giddy signs.
EAWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Queen of the Controls is the one with Katie Duffy, who will be under your bed tonight if you don't hit the like on your way out.
Playing Mario Kart.
Do it.
It's like the Spy Kids thumbs.
Woo! You just hear that from under your bed? That would be honestly super freaking creepy. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. Bulls Nation. Have a great night. Much love. See you, Rebbe Good.
Love y'all, man. Peace.
Woo-hoo!
We all silly like the mayor.